that the president has just sent out a stunning tweet, a slam of the Justice Department and the man who leads it for doing his job and charging people suspected of a crime. The people, two Republican congressmen. So let me just first read you these two tweets from Trump. Quote, two long-running Obama-era investigations of two very popular Republican congressmen were brought to a well-publicized charge just ahead of the midterms by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department. Two easy wins now in doubt because there was not enough time. Good job, Jeff. ... The Democrats, none of whom voted for Jeff Sessions, must love him now. The president is referring to New York Congressman Chris Collins and California Congressman Duncan Hunter. So let's have a conversation about this, shall we? I have with me CNN's senior White House correspondent Jeff Zeleny and CNN senior political analyst Mark Preston. And let's back up two steps first, Jeff, to you on the context of the charges these two Republican congressmen face. Remind us.
Well, Brooke, Chris Collins, the New York Republican, who was an early and loyal supporter of this president, was charged a month or so ago on a variety of insider trading charges about a pharmaceutical company in Australia, if I recall. And this insider trading, very serious. He is and was indicted on those charges. The Justice Department, of course, oversaw that indictment, but there is no reason to believe that politics played any role in that. And Duncan Hunter was more recently charged, he and his wife, for a variety of things, wire fraud, other matters, campaign finance violation. The allegation is that they misused, in fact, stole nearly $250,000 in campaign funds, and saying it was being used for a variety of things where, in fact, they were going on vacation and using it for personal matters. So these two very serious charges, not uncommon for the Justice Department to file charges against sitting members of Congress. We've seen it from both parties over the years. What is extraordinarily uncommon, I can't recall this ever happening, the president weighing in specifically on a specific case and also suggesting that politics should have played a role in this, that the Justice Department, which of course is overseen by Jeff Sessions, who's a Republican appointed by this Republican president, he's saying that they should have given them special treatment and not charged them during an election year. So, Brooke, that is what is the unusual nature here. The president has long taken many swipes at his Attorney General Jeff Sessions, but not for anything like this. He's saying, look, he should not have charged them simply because they're Republicans.
Mark, how do you explain that? This is extraordinary.
I think it's really unfair that you're asking me to try to explain Donald Trump. I mean, this is
he's implying that the Jeff Sessions Department of Justice, should hold off on prosecuting to save these seats.
It's absolutely, I mean, gosh, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm sure I'll say it again in a few hours, if not a few days. It's absolutely insane, the behavior we're seeing come out of President Trump. If you look at that tweet, okay, the successive tweets that he sent out, he's using that tweet, as Jeff points out, for political purposes. He's putting it out and he's making a political argument not to press charges against two individuals who are facing very serious charges. And by the way, any of you who are driving in your cars listening on Sirius or watching this at home, if you were charged with these crimes, they wouldn't wait until after November to charge you with those crimes. So that's one. The second thing is that he's using these two congressmen as a bludgeon. He's using these tweets to beat down Jeff Sessions. He's not saying that these folks aren't guilty or they're innocent or offering support to them. All he's saying is that they are very popular and there's not enough time to try to save these seats. That's astounding.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Jeff, to you, remember my days, weeks are running together, but during Paul Manafort's first his trial in D.C., and I remember I can still see the president walking out of the White House and making comments while this jury is about to decide this former campaign official's fate, and the president interjects into this federal trial and essentially is like, he's a good guy and it's really sad what they've done to him. That was Paul Manafort. This, in a similar way, he is injecting himself as the president of the United States, talking politics with regard to these two men.
Exactly. I mean, the overlying force here, as Mark just said, trying to use these two Republican members of Congress as another weapon or hammer in his ongoing feud with Jeff Sessions. Now, we heard the president say last week in that interview with Bloomberg News that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, will stay in his job at least until November. After that, he couldn't be sure. Now, who knows? I wonder if this will change that. But it's very curious as to why the president is weighing in on this right now. The charges happened last month. This is not anything new. There's not anything new information as far as I know with Duncan Hunter or Chris Collins. But the president clearly still trying to build this case that the Justice Department is against him. The Justice Department is against Republicans. That is what he's trying to do. But everyone knows that there are career prosecutors and Republican appointees overseeing this in the Justice Department. So as of now, Jeff Sessions has always fought back. He has said in a statement just last month that he's not going to allow political considerations to get in on his actions there. This is, though, pretty extraordinary because the U.S. attorneys in New York and California that oversaw both of these were Trump appointees. So that is what is extraordinary here. The president, he said last week at a rally in Indiana, he'll get involved. Perhaps this is what he meant, now going after specific these allegations here.
It's a great point, though. Why now? Ponder that, and maybe that will become evident in the coming hours. Jeff and Mark, thank you guys both for jumping in on that with me.